I'm Tim.
And I'm Jan.
Tim and I met at Nebraska Wesleyan University in Lincoln, and we were both in education. I was a psychology major there, and my mom was a school psychologist in the Chicago area, and I really liked hearing about her work and thought that might be what I'd like to do for a career. So once I left Wesleyan, I went into the graduate school and got all the requirements to be a school psychologist to work in the schools. But Tim decided he'd like to have his own business. Well, of course, neither one of us at Wesleyan took any business classes. So I got a job with Omaha Public Schools as a school psychologist, and I had a baby. And I was set now to kind of support the family while Tim developed this business of the pumpkin patch. But the pumpkin patch got to be a bit successful, and it worked pretty good for a while. And a few years on, I would come home from work, and there would be like 10 to 20 phone calls that I had to return.
Thank you for calling Vala's Pumpkin Patch. Our office is closed, but we would be happy to talk with you.
Oh, are you on the phone? Hello.
Please press 0.
Hello.
And we will return your call.
And a lot of them were to teachers wanting to know about school groups and people that wanted to know about renting a campfire. And it was just a lot of work for me to come home at night and then do that.
There goes Tim.
And so it finally got to the point where Tim thought I should either quit my job or go part-time.
We're all just one big happy family.
And I thought, well, part-time sounds good, but are we going to be able to make it? Because we have these kids and
Here she comes.
how are we going to do it? And so I did end up going part-time. My employer was fine with that. But after a couple of years of doing that, it got to be too much.
No. Tim, I really need your help, okay?
And so Tim and I talked, and he thought I should quit my job altogether. So
Hi.
I did quit.
We're just moving the kitchen out now.
And I said to Tim, what's gonna happen if we can't quite make it, And he told me very confidently that if we have to, we'll sell a tractor. Well, I started out with the hayride, and when I wasn't there,
your wife has been looking for you. Did she find you?
No, huh?
Tim would take people out in the hay rack ride.
This is our hay rack loading zone.
And go back to the barn and see if anybody else was standing there waiting for the hay rack. Then he'd take them out, and then he'd pick up the people that were in the field. If we had 6 or 7 carloads of people, we were having a traffic jam around here. They parked where the harvest barn is now, and that was the main area where people came in, and we would weigh their pumpkins. So that's kind of where we were in the beginning.
We didn't have a chance.
Here's the Donut Hut crew.
Yeah, there's a donut.
The Pumpkin Cafe is still going strong.
They could walk through the spook shed and maybe a couple of other little things too. The haunted farmhouse was in there somewhere, and we had a little retail area to buy things that were Halloween related. But they could do things with their children, and it was hard to have a business and have these 3 daughters that were, little toddlers and everything. So we had a lot of help from both sets of our parents. They would help babysit and take care of kids, take them to soccer practice, whatever they needed to do.
Can't touch it, Kyla.
And so I don't think we could have made it without the 2 sets of parents helping us out, because that was really, really vital at the time.
Kirsten's holding Kelsey for the first time.
But as they got older, each started taking part in the pumpkin patch, and I was enjoying the pumpkin patch work now in the admissions area.
How are you?
meeting and greeting people and kind of overseeing some of the activities here and getting the place set up for that. And so I was kind of learning as I went.
This is Frankenstein from Sweet 98.
But the marketing was so much fun.
Go to valaspumpkinpatch.com for directions and special events.
Vala's Pumpkin Patch, best of all.
So later in life, all three kids went to college, and Kirsten was at Washington University and actually worked for the Food Network and did a lot of food writing. And then our second daughter, Kyla, went off to school and ended up with a degree in business and marketing. And then the third child, Kelsey Vala, really enjoyed cooking and baking, and so she ended up going to culinary school. And what a bonus for the pumpkin patch again! So we were really fortunate to have three daughters that majored and loved what they do. And they started working for the pumpkin patch, all three of them, at a time where our business was expanding. We just happened to need more people planning the orientation, scheduling people, doing this and doing this and doing this. And so they've become very much leaders of the pumpkin patch.